How to stop being unlucky. Now this one's a bit close to heart because there was many times in my life where I believed I was unlucky and things just kept happening. I'm like, how the fuck am I getting so unlucky? This is impossible. Like some of the craziest shit, especially throughout my career as a professional footballer, I'd keep getting the same results over and over and over again. And no matter how hard I worked, nothing changed. Matter of fact, the harder I worked, the more unlucky I was getting. I was like, this is crazy. Doesn't make sense. Why is this? So if that's you, then by the end of this video, I'm gonna explain to you exactly how to break out of this pattern. If you're in a constant state of repeated negative outcomes, you're getting the same thing no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you change things, then this video is for you. So you have to understand, the biggest problem with this whole point is just not understanding how reality works, not understanding how your mind works, not understanding how you create as a person. When people say you're the creator of your world, of your universe, it's cliche as fuck, but it's so true. The more you start going down the pathway of self-development, of philosophy, of just metaphysics, and understanding how life and the game of reality works, all these like cliche quotes, they start making sense. It's really strange. It's like, oh my day, I get it now. I get why people said that. I get why that started, where that originated from, and the real meaning behind it. People throw these quotes around, but they don't actually know what they mean. So they become cliche, they become things that feel like they have no real meaning, and people just say them for the sake of it, because people do. But when you find people who really understand the meaning of these things, then you need to listen. And it's very important, and you will start understanding them exactly as well. So one of the main points, firstly, to understand how to break out of repeated negative outcomes, how to stop being unlucky, is number one, is to understand that you have the power. You're the creator. All the things that happen in your life, you create all of them. Write it down, number one. Number one, get this through your head. And I know right now you're gonna be like, yeah, people say that, people say you're the creator. Like I understand that the way that people try and make it have a meaning, but I know right now you don't really understand that, especially if you're in the middle of all this shit, like you're having repeated negative outcomes, you just don't buy it. But let's just go through with it. Number one, write it down. You have the power, you're the creator, whatever one you want to fucking choose. Now, you're the creator. We're constantly in a state of creation, always. From the moment you wake up, from the moment you create in your sleep, so that's bullshit. You create 24/7, you're fucking creating. Always, you have to understand that. When you understand that you create everything in your life, that in every moment, with every thought, with every action, with every emotion, you're creating outcomes in your life. You're creating them 100%. When you fully understand that, then it starts getting interesting. You start becoming very conscious of what you think and what you do, because you know you don't want to create something that you don't want. But if you don't believe you're the creator, then you're not really that conscious. You just kind of live your life. You allow your mind to think whatever you want to think. Once you start understanding how powerful your thoughts are and how much they really create in your life, all the bad things in your life, if you look back at the thoughts you have around them, you're like, shit, yeah, I had some really bad thoughts about this specific thing. Yeah, I built a lot of negative scenarios in my mind around this thing every single day. It's all I thought about. I obsessed over it. Then it happened. Wake up, dummy. Does that not sound like a creation to you? You think that's luck? The fact that you obsessed over it, then it happened? You created it. So you have to start policing your mind. Next one, 2, write it down. Police your mind. Now the reason I say police your mind is because now if you understand how important your thoughts are. Thoughts they're creative, they create everything. Thoughts are creative. So now, if you want to break out of all the negative outcomes you're getting and all the things that you're putting down to luck, if you want to break out of them, you have to change your thoughts. You have to be more disciplined. When people say discipline, all people think about is the physical habits in the world. Okay, I need to be disciplined to do this. I need to be disciplined to not do this. Most importantly, where discipline matters the most is inside here, inside your mind. That's where you have to be the most disciplined. Because whatever thoughts you have in your mind, that's what initiates you to do the physical habits anyways. So if you're disciplined to go to the gym every day, that's only because of the belief system that you have in your mind that makes you do it. The only difference between someone who's in shape and someone who's not is their belief systems around fitness is different. The belief systems in a guy who's who's fit is like, you have to be fit. It's a man's duty to be fit. I can't see myself sloppy. Fuck that, I'm never gonna be that. That's his belief system, so he's gonna go to the gym every single day because his belief system is what makes him do that. Your belief system is a blueprint for your life. So if you have that in your mind, it's gonna make you go to the gym. And it's gonna be harder for you to not go. Where the other guy who's out of shape and he's sloppy, he's like, it's not really that important. This is his belief system. It's not that important. It doesn't really add that much value to my life. I'm not gonna get any health issues if I'm just out of shape. That's his belief system. So now that blueprint that he has in his mind now goes into his physical life. So that's why he don't go gym. Because his belief systems around it are of that it's not that important, it's insignificant. So he becomes that. So you have to understand that your belief systems, your mind, that's what dictates your life. That's what dictates the habits that you have. So you have to start policing it. You have to treat your mind like a city. You couldn't not have police in a city. Everyone will go fucking crazy. Everyone will be able to do whatever they want. There'll be no repercussions. And then it will be a horrible place. Think about the UK, how it is now, weak police. Think about Dubai, how that is. Which one's more peaceful? Dubai, because people fear the police system. People fear that more. So they remain in place. They don't do things that aren't aligned to what Dubai wants. So that's how it's like forever growing, because they police it better. So if you're not policing your mind, then it's just gonna run crazy with negative scenarios. And if we understand that thoughts are creative, then if you're having a lot of thoughts of negative outcomes, then you're gonna create negative outcomes. So you have to police your mind. You can't just allow your mind to run wild with all these negative scenarios. But we've been trained to do that. We've been programmed to do that all our lives. We've been programmed to always choose the thing that we don't want. And how do you, when I say choose, what I mean is you choose with your thoughts and your habits. Your thoughts and your habits. If not always your habits, then always your thoughts. So if you've got two scenarios in your life, you're like, there's something that I want and there's something that I don't want. Our mind is trained to think about what we don't want. And that's how you choose it. That's how you make it real in your life, by obsessing over it, by thinking about it. Manifestation happens when you have an idea and you flood all your thoughts into that, all your emotions into that. That's how you create something in your life. So now think about all the negative outcomes in your life that you're trying to break out of. How much do you obsess about it? How much do you fear it? How much emotional charge do you have towards it, and do you flood into it? You would just sit all day just daydreaming about a negative scenario happening. What do you think is going to happen? So when I think about all the bad luck that I had in my life, in my career where I've had a lot of injuries, when I went for a period where I was getting injured like continuously over and over and over again, but when I think back to how I thought about it, it dominated my whole mind. It dominated all my days. So it's all I ever thought about, so it's all I ever got. So if you want to break out of being unlucky, if you want to start becoming more lucky, then what do you think you need to do? You need to change your focus, shift your focus from negative outcomes that you don't want to positive outcomes that you do want. I want to give you an analogy that's going to really help you understand how manifestation works, how you create. Look, I hope you're enjoying the video. The fact that you're here shows me that you're into self-development. You want to become the best version of yourself. You want to overcome all your insecurities, all your problems, and you want to reach the highest version of you to create the life that you want. So I'm here for you. This is what I do. If you guys need any questions answered, you need me at all, the best place to contact me is on Instagram. DM me on Insta. I get back to all the questions, all the requests, and I will answer you always. This is what I do. This is what I live for. So hit me up and let's do this. The reason why you feel unlucky is because you don't know how to deal with adversity properly. You don't know how to turn adversity into success. You only know how to turn adversity into more adversity. So this whole thing about how to stop being unlucky, really it's about how to deal with adversity. With inevitable adversity that's going to come into your life every single day, you're going to have adversity. If you don't react to it properly, you're going to get into a negative cycle of more adversity. Your days will be, your life will be 80% adversity, 20% success. You have to flip that around. You want it to be 20% adversity, 80% success. You ain't never gonna beat adversity. Your life is never gonna be 100% success, and nor should you want it to be. Because then your success will it wouldn't even feel like success to you. It wouldn't even be worth it, because you don't have the comparison of failing. The only reason why success is so good, why getting rich is so good, why being fit is so good, is because you once experienced what it feels like to not be fit, to not be rich. That's the only reason why. So don't ever wish adversity away. And again, whatever you try and resist, whatever you try and remove from your life, you just put more focus into it so you get more of it. So you need to understand how to deal with adversity properly. This is how. I'm going to give you an analogy, firstly, of how you create. This will teach you how to deal with adversity. So I want you to imagine this scenario. This is you. You're here. You're sat down. This is a chair. This is a table. You're at a restaurant. This is you at a restaurant. This is Dior. His name's Dior. This is our camera guy, Dior. And Dior, give me a name of someone you don't like. Maybe someone who bullied you at school. Who bullied you at school? Alex. This is Alex. Dior's a millionaire, super millionaire. Alex is a waiter. He's a waiter. He's got food in his hand. He's serving him now. All right. So imagine yourself. You're at a restaurant. This is a waiter, and now this is your designated waiter. Now the only job that this waiter has is to just continuously serve you food. The whole night, just serve you food, serve you food, serve you food. Now, the problem is that the waiter, he can't communicate. He's deaf and he's blind. Can't speak, can't hear. But the only way he can communicate is through emotion, through your emotion. That's how we communicate. So his job is to keep bringing you food over and over again, and he's gonna bring you whatever you react to emotionally. So if he brings you out if he brings you out a portion of chips and you don't like them, they're the worst chips you've ever had. He serves you, you eat the chips and you're like, oh my God, this food is horrendous. I hate this. These chips are the worst chips I've ever had. All he feels, he doesn't know negative or positive. He can't speak, he can't hear. All he knows, all he feels is your emotion. So you reacted to him, so he has a trigger in his mind, emotion. I need to go back to the kitchen and bring him more of what he just reacted emotionally to. So I'm gonna bring him more chips. Reacted again, didn't like it, go back to the kitchen, bring him more. So you're sitting here like, fuck, this guy keep bringing me these chips that I don't like. That I don't like them, why do I keep getting it? Now let's say Alex goes to the back of the kitchen and gets a cake, chocolate cake. Goes back to the kitchen, comes back to you, gives you a chocolate cake. And you're like, oh my God, this is the nicest chocolate cake ever. This is the best, I love it, amazing. I'm so grateful for this cake, it's so nice. Emotion, that's all Alex feels. Goes back to the kitchen, brings you more cake. So now you're getting more of what you want. You like it, you love it, you keep getting it over and over and over again. This is an analogy. This is you. The food is the events in your life. Alex is the universe. Which means whatever you react emotionally to, whatever you give all your attention to, whatever events you give all your resources to, your energy, your emotion, your thoughts, is what the world will give you more of. So every single time bad events happen in your life, and you react so emotionally to them, and you fear them, and you stress over them, you'll keep getting more, because you're creating. That's how you create. You create by having an idea and flooding all your emotions, all your thoughts, and all your habits into this over and over and over again. So you're creating it and you don't even know. Everybody always takes responsibility for all the good things that happen in their life. Oh yeah, I did that, I sacrificed to make that happen, I put in the work to make that happen, I had a vision about it and I executed it, I made it happen. But then you disown all the bad things in your life. You believe it came from somewhere else. So when you created what you wanted to create, you took full ownership. You're like, yeah, I created it. So now you act like God. Now you act like a creator. But then when all the bad things happen in your life, it's like you lost all your powers. Like you didn't create it. Like it all happened to you. You don't say that for any of the good things in your life. You're not like, oh, all this amazing stuff just happened. You say, no, you created it. You worked for it. So why did you disown all the bad things in your life? You create the good and the bad. And the reason why you keep getting more of the bad is because you disown and you put the responsibility of creation to something else, to another idea. It must have just happened. I'm just unlucky. So you just repeat the outcome. When you think you're unlucky, when you believe that the power is not within your control, then you can never change it. You lose your powers right then and there. But when you gain your power back, that's why point number 1 that we wrote down at the beginning of this lesson was understand that you are the creator and you have the power. Because then you can do something about it. Why would you want to believe that the power is outside of you? Because then you can never change it. You're just going to be a victim. You have to just take it now. But you can change it by understanding firstly that you're choosing it. But no one just ever taught us this. So our whole life, we learned, we always saw and perceived life through the lens of fear and doubt. Why? Because the people around us saw life and perceived life through the lens of fear and doubt. So we developed that. They passed it on to us. They projected it onto us. But you have to understand that you create by choosing with your thoughts, your emotions, and what you focus on. So what do you do? How do you get more? How do you break out from being unlucky and get more and start getting lucky? Start creating what you want by focusing on it, by changing your belief systems, by changing from going from reactive thinking, like something happens and straight away you go to fear, you react to fear, to being conscious throughout your whole day. Stop living unconsciously, start living more consciously, and start having creative thoughts rather than reactive thoughts. Because right now your reactive thoughts are negative because you've been programmed to do it. You have to fucking break that cycle. You have to start being conscious and start being creative. What do I want? Think about what you want and think about it over and over and over again. Whenever you get to the point where like you're thinking about bad shit happening, break it. It's not real. As much as the things you want in your life that haven't happened yet aren't real, neither is these things that haven't happened yet not real. The only one that becomes real in your life, whatever one becomes your reality, is the one you focus on. So just choose to focus on the one you want. It's actually really fucking obvious when you think about it. And it's actually psycho that we continuously focus on the things we don't want, expecting us to get what we do want. How would that even work? You are the creator. You have the power. Once you understand that, everything changes. You start living consciously now. Imagine this. Imagine that whatever you thought about and whatever you built on and continue to think about, it happened in the next 20 seconds. So if you had a vision that if you started thinking about you crashing your car while you're driving, within the next 20 seconds, it's gonna happen because you thought about it. How conscious would you be with your thoughts? You wouldn't allow yourself to think negative thoughts as much because you're like, no, because it will happen in 20 minutes, in 20 seconds. So fuck that, I'm not gonna think about that. I'm not gonna allow that to happen. What you're gonna do, you're gonna start policing your mind. You're gonna start thinking about what you do want. So if I think about getting £1 million, you're gonna get it in the next 20 seconds. So how would your thoughts change compared to what they are now? They would be completely different, would they not? So that's how you have to operate. Conscious living, not unconscious living. You gotta start choosing what you want, not just wanting it, but then thinking about something else. So you have to deal with adversity properly. You can't keep failing the adversity test. You have to think about all the things in your life that you don't want and start thinking about how much you think about it. Think about when you get like a letter through the door. Where does your mind go? Straight away your mind goes to, a lack of money. Like it's a parking fine. It's a ticket. It's HMRC trying to take money off me. So you start going to a lack. You start thinking about lack. You start fearing finances. So you create more of that. You create more events that are gonna produce you that feeling. Just like that. You start focusing on how much you don't want it, you get more of it. Gives you more. He's thinking about a lack of money. Let me go back and get him some more events in his life that make him feel like that. That's why people say whatever you fear is what you become. You become what you fear. What it really should say is that you just become what you focus on. But people just focus on their fears, so that's what they become. The reason why people would deem themselves as lucky is because they always focus on what they want. So they're aligned to what they want. So the universe will give them more of that. They won't necessarily make it happen because they're thinking about it and they're obsessing over it. That's the world's job, that's the universe's job, to just give you what your mental blueprint is. It's just to build it for you. If you wanted to build a house, you've got to have a blueprint. And if you have a blueprint, you get builders that their only job is to build it for you. You don't have to know how to build it. You ain't got to be like, okay, I'm going to put this brick here, this brick here. You're going to be like, no, this is the blueprint I want, make it happen. That's the universe's job. By thinking what you want, that's your blueprint. The universe's job, to build it for you. And then synchronization starts happening. You start getting opportunities that align to what you wanted. Weird things just start fucking happening that put you on that path to getting what you want. That's how it works. So you have to stop failing the adversity test. Whenever you stress, whenever you fear, whenever you give bad events in your life, all your emotions, you have to understand that you're creating more of it. You have to train your mind to just relax and be relaxed and calm and stoic in chaos. So then the bad times in your life don't stay longer than they need to stay. You're making bad times and bad events and negativity stay in your life longer than it needs to stay. Is negativity going to be in your life? Always, 100%. But it doesn't have to stay any longer than it needs to. The only reason negativity comes into your life is through the law of polarity, because you have to feel negativity in order to feel positivity. In order to feel joy, you have to feel pain. So God's like, okay, my job is to get you to feel the best you've ever felt. And he knows the only way for him to do that is to give you a bit of pain, is to give you a bit of negativity and a bit of suffering. So through contrast, you can love it. You can love it. Otherwise, you wouldn't love it as much because it's all you ever have. But he don't want it to stay for long. It doesn't have to be in your life for years and years and years. It just has to stay there for as long as it needs for you to experience it, move on. But you guys are grabbing it. It's coming past through your life and you're grabbing it and you're keeping it in your life forever because you're choosing it. Let it go. Be stoic and do not fail the adversity test. That's how you stop being unlucky. Well done, guys. You reached the end of the video, which shows me that you are the real soldiers. You're really fighting that war to self-mastery, and it's all that you want and all you obsess about. So look, I want to give you my personal number to connect with me, whether it's for coaching information or it's just to ask me a question and just to reach out for some help. So you can message me on 054 394 9393. That's 054 394 9393. Area code is +71. It's a Dubai number. So guys, look forward to hearing from you.